Claire's is closing, AOL's dial-up is shutting down, Taylor Swift has us all looking like clowns, and did I just find AdTech God on Instagram Map? I'm Kate with Marketecture, and this is The Refresh, your weekly download on what went down in advertising. Today's Monday, August 11th, and this week we're covering the big ESPN NFL deal, Instagram's new features, and the trade desk's earnings. So let's get into it. Starting things off with ESPN and the NFL, who reached a landmark deal last week, one which could very likely be another acceleration point in the pipeline from linear to streaming TV. Key terms of the deal give ESPN ownership of the NFL network as well as distribution rights to pay TV providers for the NFL's Red Zone. Don't worry, Red Zone fans. The NFL will still continue to own and produce the show along with other key media properties like the NFL's podcast network. Alongside their own fantasy platform, ESPN will also acquire NFL Fantasy. In exchange, the NFL will receive a 10% equity stake in ESPN valued at an estimated $2.5 to $3 billion. This announcement comes ahead of the August 21st rollout of ESPN's direct-to-consumer streaming platform. It'll cost $29.99 a month, and for the first time ever, subscribers will be able to access all of ESPN's content, including the NFL Network, without a cable subscription. Both ESPN and the NFL are going all in on streaming. For ESPN, the hope is that the deal increases subscriber numbers while reducing churn, all while creating a more enticing opportunity for advertisers. For the NFL, they're betting on the distribution of their content via streaming, ESPN in particular, as a fundamental long-term survival strategy. In the middle of all of this, advertisers should keep in mind Disney's recent efforts to make their live sports inventory available via real-time programmatic transaction. Alright, let's talk about Instagram's new features, which might be giving you a serious case of deja vu. The first is a repost feature, which is a direct copy of TikTok's repost. It essentially allows a user to reshare content into their own feed that they found useful or interesting. Then we have the Instagram map, which, yes, is a direct pull from Snapchat's Snap Map. It essentially aggregates users' locations and overlays them onto a map. Finally, Instagram made some updates to how and where your engagement with Reels content shows up. Instagram Map is really what sent the internet spiraling late last week, setting off a chaotic discourse that advertisers should stop and reflect on, including consumers' understanding of and sentiment towards protecting their privacy on the internet, how brand trust plays a role in consumers' receptivity to products or offerings that bridge into that personal information territory, and how quickly brands can lose control of the narrative on the internet. Wrapping things up with the trade desk's earnings, which overall were solid. Revenue is up 19% year over year and beat out analyst expectations. Key factors behind that revenue growth include increased use of Kokai, greater CTV investments, and more spend in retail media data. Despite all that positivity, the trade desk stock still went tumbling 30% in after-hours trading. Overall, the trade desk is a healthy business, but it's battling larger environmental factors like an inflated valuation, jumpy investors, and an advertising ecosystem that continues to favor walled garden powerhouses alongside an open web landscape that is being eroded and reshaped by AI. The trade desk has been through ups and downs before, and I think they'll be okay, but this does give another glimpse into how the legacy ad tech landscape is being forced to adapt and evolve. And the reality is, in the face of such significant change, not everyone is going to be able to do this successfully. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us for The Refresh, and we'll catch you next week.